Good evening, everyone. How are you? So, the graph that you see in front of you is a graph of confidence versus competence. We'll come to this graph, but let's go to today's agenda that is knowing everything about MBA. With me, my name is Abhishek Leela Pandey. I'm a certified mathematician and a published author, and I have scored 99.93 percentile in CAT and 717 GMAT. Today, I'll be from my experience and from all the data and stats that I have gathered over the years, I'll be talking about everything about MBA. Welcome to this seminar. Good evening, Tanuj. Well, so the first thing, what is MBA? What MBA is? We know Master of Business Administration, but it's basically a black and white certificate which encompasses learning in various domains of business, management, and leadership. So when you have that MBA degree with you, automatically, if someone looks at you, they will realize that this person knows about business and leadership. That is something which they will get to know. Apart from these skills, there are a lot of other skills as well, which we'll be deep diving into in this seminar. So let's start with the next slide. And here we'll address the question, why should I choose an MBA specialization? So coming to specialization, because MBA is not just one degree. There are n number of specializations. I'll talk about that. Why should we choose it and how to choose it? That is the first learning outcome of today's seminar. Why should I choose it? The first reason, to target any specific areas of interest. So MBA specialization, it actually allows students to focus studies on one MBA specialization to gain management skills and knowledge about knowledge necessary to pursue career in that field. So it can be any kind of field. It can be finance, it can be HR, it can be marketing, operations, etc. So depending on which career path do you choose for yourself, that is why specialization, choosing it is very much necessary. The other points are it enhances career opportunities. So let's say there is an organization which basically deals with survey making. They just take surveys, they collect data. So they'll be looking for someone who will be a pro in data analytics, finance, statistics. So that is why if we want to work with certain domain, certain company or certain kind of expertise, we should actually specialize in that domain. That is why it is important. Apart from that, lucrative salary, it is across all the domains. But yeah, there is one thing that depending on it also depends sometimes people have interest in certain domains. Sometimes they look at it like this is the best domain to work into for future years, right? Depending on how the culture, how the economic culture is being built. So if you have that domain specialization which you feel is going to stay for quite a few years, that means you will be automatically at a higher package. Because there can be other people from the same domain, but they might not have an MBA in that. They would just be having graduation degree and UG degree. And that is why a person with an MBA would be more exposed to different practical scenarios because that is what is the curriculum inside a B school. So they just don't teach it theoretically. They also conduct a lot of workshops, a lot of group exercises, a lot of presentations are there. So you keep on talking to other people from different domains, from different backgrounds, and that is why you know a bit more, or you are ready to know a bit more than a normal graduate would ever be. Well, the fourth is competitive edge. It's like the same thing which I discussed earlier. The other job seekers, if you're an MBA that is specialized, you'll automatically, it is common sense, you'll be having more advantage on that. Well, now how to choose the right MBA specialization? That is the that is the main point. Okay, we know we have to choose, but how to choose? How would I know that what am I fit for? The first thing is interests and goals. So people can have different interests. Some people love looking at numbers. Some people love looking at images. Some people love looking at, let's say, designs. Some people have keen eye for detail, visual detail, right? So people can have different interests, and an interest is a strong driving force, of course. So someone who is good with numbers, and the person loves numbers, the person wants to manipulate numbers, and do all that mathematical stuff with that. So that is the person who will be most suited for finance. Similarly, images or designs, that person would be suited towards branding. Branding, which is a kind of a subset of marketing. Marketing is a huge umbrella. A lot of things are there. So images, designs, if person has keen details for that, or visual details, that person can actually go to marketing. If people love talking to other people, if people have these organizing skills, if people are sympathetic, they're emotional, they're ethical, then human resource can be a specialization. So it depends on what kind of interest you have. You should align your interest with the specialization, and that is how. So some one great person said that if you love what you do, or if you do what you love, you won't have to work for a single day in your life, right? So that is the thing. In UG, in graduation, sometimes we choose subjects due to peer pressure or due to social pressure. But in this case, we have a lot of choices, and we should actually align our thoughts and our interests with the specialization that we are going to choose. Next is research. So one can find about the specialization by researching all MBA specializations. This will give them an idea of how one differs from the others. That is what I'm going to do today in this session. Next is long-term career goals. So, see, when we say long-term career goals, so basically, let's say someone is 25 years of age, and when he completes his or her MBA, and after that, he works with a company which is constructing bridges. Okay, that is an engineering company, but that would require some manager. The manager can be HR, the manager can be finance. So the long-term career goal is not building bridges. The long-term career goal is managing the capital involved around building bridges or any kind of other manufacturing industry. So depending on what is in vogue and what will be in vogue in future, that is how we can align our long-term goals, and that is how we can choose the specialization that are actually in sync with our long-term goals. Work experience. So let's say you are working somewhere and you're working with one particular domain and that interests you a lot, and you want to climb up the corporate ladder in the same field, but because you do not have an MBA degree, you're not able to do that. So that is also a point of view. So the domain that you're working in, choose the same domain and obtain an MBA degree from it, from the same domain. That is for the working professionals. Cool. Now, the next is we'll try to understand the finance domain of MBA. There are certain points that I have researched. The first is the banking and finance sector is set to create job opportunities for 8.4 million people in the coming 6 to 8 years. That's huge. So finance is going to stay, right? Every year, the financial sector in India witnesses a stable growth of around 8.5%. Now, this is the real data. So why is it happening? Why is it happening? Because Indian government is putting in a lot of efforts in different policies and different initiatives like Startup India initiative or Make in India initiative. So now there is a kind of an ambience and an environment, an ecosystem for budding entrepreneurs, or also for the people who would be required in the business administration, and that is why we come to this conclusion that it has a stable growth, which can stable at the same time that is sustainable. So it is going to stay. Financial analysts are placed across almost every sector and industry, be it government and private, as they're responsible for maintaining the cost and capital. When I say government, what do I mean? I'll give an example of PSU. Let's say NTPC. NTPC. So in NTPC, one has to procure coal. One has to, so coal Coal is transported through railways. The railway lines are there. So these, there can be a furnace. Then where to dump the the heat? You should have some kind of river, some kind of canal nearby. So all these plannings are done, and what kind of capital will be involved is something that a financial planner will do for the government. At the same time, there'll be human resource as well. So what kind of things should be done? What kind of budget should be allotted to the human resource perks, apart from salary, other perks? So that is all a financial analyst actually does. So in government, there'll be a lot of because government is growing, government has a lot of policies, automatically there'll be a lot of job opportunities in government sector and in private as well, because India is a country which is budding with entrepreneurs, and every entrepreneur would require a financial analyst. That is why it is going to be there. Some of the top multinational conglomerates such as Boston Consulting Group, Bain and Company, JP Morgan Chase and Company, McKinsey, Barclays, KPMG, State Bank of India, HDFC are the top companies that recruit MBA finance graduates. An MBA finance fresher who graduated from a tier 2 business school, even a tier 2 business school can get a salary of INR 7 lakhs per annum to INR 10 lakhs per annum starting. That from the tier 2 college. And with the top B school, of course, the packages will be much higher. Right. Now, who, what kind of people should actually pursue an MBA in finance? See, in finance, there's a lot of numbers are involved, a lot of them. For MBA in finance, a strong hold on mathematics is required, as this course includes topics such as accounting, taxation, economics, and finance. Students who have studied commerce from the beginning and those who pursue CFA can consider doing an MBA finance course. Now, I'll tell you what, a chartered financial analyst with an MBA is will be at the top of the pyramid of all the financial analysts and planners, because this person would be having a deep understanding of how to deal with a lot of data, a lot of financial data, analytical thinking, accounting skills, business intelligence, financial modeling, financial reporting, cash flow management, and financial management. If this is something which you know, or this is something which you want to learn, then finance, MBA in finance is for you. Accounting manager, credit manager, specialist, cash manager, manager, consultants are few career opportunities, career options that an MBA in finance actually is suited for. Well, now coming to marketing, one of the most favorite specializations in MBA. Well, so the first point is the MBA marketing course not only teaches the traditional marketing strategies but also new age concepts such as digital marketing, social media marketing, email marketing, etc. So what happens here? Marketing is a huge umbrella. And in 21st century, like earlier, there were hoardings. In the olden age, for marketing, it was just the word of mouth, nothing else. Then there were hoardings, there were pamphlet distribution, there were a lot of posters. But nowadays, people do not actually look at the hoardings, they look at their phones, right? So when they look at their phones, a lot of new technology has been developed, a lot of tools have been developed, a lot of software have been developed to actually market things digitally. That is digital marketing. So this is what you will learn in a marketing driven MBA course. By the way, word of mouth still acts the best. That is why the things which were the simplest are still relevant till date. MBA marketing graduates can switch to consultancy or enterprising management after the completion of the course. Of course, they can do it because they get consultancy is something which a lot of people choose. Because in consultancy, you get a fixed amount for a fixed project and don't have to go to the, don't have to be attached to one single company at one time. So you can actually consult a lot of companies all together. The top recruiters for MBA marketing graduates are Sony, Spencer's Retail India Private Limited, KPMG, Ranbaxy, Tech Mahindra, etc. Why it is so popular? Because every company relies on marketing to build customer loyalty and increase their value. So you must be ordering from Zomato, Swiggy, Amazon, Flipkart. A lot of retail online stores are there. So you must have seen the moment you order something. How do you order? You look at you look at the star, the rating of the how many stars are given to it, how many people have given those stars, like in IMDb, we choose the best movies. See, the thing is, perception and data are two different things. Moreover, perception is also data driven, and human beings do not really consciously do not know it. So, whatever we see, whatever we listen, whatever we taste, whatever we smell, whatever we touch, it's all essentially data. I'll tell you how. So if I taste something and I like it, automatically this will become data for a food uh, manufacturing or food transportation or food delivery agency automatically, right? You will say, okay, this person likes a lot of sour tasted items. So let's recommend this person only this one. So, or I watch thriller movies. So automatically, this Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever OTT platforms are there, they will kind of they will calculate, analyze that this is the time, this is the amount of time that this person is spending on thrillers, less on romance, less on science fiction. That means we would try to recommend him more like it. So all of this is basically data, and to collect that data, a lot of data tools are required, technology is required, and once you have the data, you can plan marketing campaigns around it. That how what has to be presented to what kind of people. So it's like if you are searching for sneakers on your phone, automatically on Facebook or anywhere you go, Facebook, Instagram, you'll start getting advertisements of sneakers. Tell me in the comments if that happens with you or not. So this is the kind of everything is data these days, and one who understands data would be the best marketer. Well, marketing sector is known to be topmost recruiting sector in MBA placements as per an Ahmedabad placement reports. Marketing was the second in highest recruiting sector after finance, with highest CTC of INR 27 lakhs per annum offered by Hindustan Unilever. So I hope you understand what marketing essentially is. We can deep down, but it's not a marketing class. But I hope you have gotten a glimpse and how interesting marketing can be. Now, look at this. The advertising, the advertising and marketing sector in India is expected to cross the $10 billion mark soon. The digital marketing sector is expected to grow at a CAGR, compounded annual growth rate, of 33.5% until next year. Online marketing is also growing at twofold, threefold rate. So, you know what? Till the time humanity is there, there will be marketing because all the human relations depend on transactions. It can be physical transactions, it can be emotional transactions, it can be services, it can be goods. Everything needs marketing. So that is the go-to point if you actually love being a human and understand what humanity essentially means. Now, coming to the next specialization, that is human resource. It's a stable industry, of course, because all the large firms need to hire HR managers in order to look after their employees. So, a company, a firm would be having two kinds of resources: non human and human. Non human is machine, technology, software, hardware, furniture, office space, fans, lights, all that stuff, and the other resources, human. So, humans, unlike machines, are emotional beings. They need to feel secure. They need to feel stable. They need to feel emotionally connected. They need to have a sense of belonging. They need to feel that their problems are being addressed. They need to feel that they are getting R&R, that's rewards and recognition, if they do something good. They need to be motivated. So, human as a resource is very emotional, and to understand those emotions, we need managers who understand the emotion at the very same time they are not vulnerable to their own emotions, and that is what makes the best HR manager. So I hope you understand how important being an HR manager is, because they are the ones who create the culture of the company. Leadership roles are common after an individual completes an MBA in HR. Candidates get to control and manage the workforce according to the needs of the organization. There are various scopes after MBA in HR, since students have the option of doing various certificate courses after MBA. A lot of certificate courses for organizational behavior, psychology, all that stuff is there, which can be done even after an MBA. Who should pursue MBA in human resource? Tanuj, yes, buzz marketing. Students who are passionate and ethical to their work and want to keep the employee morale high can pursue this course. Almost any student, this is very important, or working professional can do an MBA in HR in part-time and MBA online mode. This makes it a viable option for students or professionals with money and time constraint issues. Because here there'll not be a lot of statistical projects per se. That is why you can, in the limited time, you can finish this MBA in an online mode as well. Professionals with relevant and substantial work experience have the opportunity to move the ladder since ME and HR colleges do not discriminate on the basis of age. So you can see people in HR who are in the late 20s, early 30s, even late 30s sometimes, and still at that time they can switch on to HR because they might get a realization after working 10 years down the line that, okay, I am a person who understands humans much more. I think I should be in HR. So this is something which can be done through HR. It can be a career shift altogether. All right. 72%, let's come to some data. 72% of companies worldwide believe that HR is an important element responsible for the proper functioning of the organization. 72%, that's huge. Let's not talk about the other 28%. They might not believe it, but they know it. 83% of companies in South Asia have prioritized HR tech advancements. HR tech advancement. Now, what does that mean? Tech advancement HR. So even HR like managing a resource, if it is a human, would be would be having more data, right? Their emotional upbringing, their mental health, all that stuff would again it would be data. So a lot of tools have been developed. A lot of tools have been developed in South Asia. So they are prioritizing HR tech advancements. So automatically there will be huge scope in HR management. The global HR sector is expected to reach around 30 billion by 2025. That's a huge number. Well, let's talk about some other specializations. So if you are a person who wants to take ownership from end to end, okay, so let's say inside an organization, a lot of things are happening. Manufacturing is happening, branding is happening, logistics is happening, um, culture building is happening, all that stuff is happening. And there needs to be one department, one person, one individual, one group, a team of individuals who would be knowing something about everything, all the processes one by one, and they are the one who can actually understand what has to be the second in the stage, and first in the stage, and third in the stage. So this is how they can manage the entire, chain of command and also the chain of development or manufacture in some cases. So these are the people who work at the operations officers. So those kind of people, if you feel that you have knack for it, go for operations management. International business. So nowadays it is like it is said world is a global village. And historically, two countries become friends when they have some kind of trade treaty, right? When they have some trade relations. Trade actually kills the war, right? Trade brings in peace. So if you understand that point of view, and if you understand that trade is something between two economic territories which keeps the relations alive because all human interaction is essentially a transaction. And the best transaction is trade, right? So if you understand this point of view and if you have a wider scope of thought, then international business is made for you. The best college for that is IIFT, that is in New Delhi. Information technology. So till now we have talked about a lot of things, and in all things I have discussed about data, technology, and everything. So if you are a computer science graduate or an IT graduate, in all the management companies, in all the companies basically, There'll be some people who will be engineers. There'll be some people who will be managing those engineers, right? There'll be some people who will be developing new software or kind of testing the software or even repairing the software or hardware. So information technology is the specialization not just for engineers, also for managers. It's a very good opportunity for the BTech graduates who are working somewhere and they want to climb up the corporate ladder. So better than MTech, they should pursue MBA in IT. Then comes data analytics. We've talked about this throughout. That is something in which I have gained exposure. Then comes strategy and entrepreneurship. As I told earlier, that India now is the Indian government now is actually kind of encouraging entrepreneurs by providing a lot of schemes, providing a lot of aids, a lot of support, a lot of subsidy. So entrepreneurship is something you want to build up something, you want to start up something. Either you have the capital or don't have the capital, but you should know how to get the capital, how to get the resources, how to get the uh, how to get the verifications, and how to get all the requirements. Entrepreneurship is made for you. So there is a course which is called MBA in entrepreneurship. Right. So I hope this is understandable. Now coming to dual specialization. Some people feel that I have to be more secure, right? So let's say I have taken data analytics, I want to be more secure, I want to take finance as well. All right. So let's say my interest is totally in data analytics, but what if something happens, it's industry specific. There should be a wider knowledge base as well. So this is where dual specialization comes in. You do MBA in which you will be trained thoroughly in finance and digital marketing or data analytics. So this is also something which people can do. Market trends. Dual specialization imparts numerous skills and knowledge which help in achieving high and reputed job prospects, of course, because you will be trained in two different domains. Job security. So, of course, the job security, as I told you earlier, right? So here comes the data analytics. For example, just an example, and let's say in this set comes the finance. So think about it. There's an employer who is hiring a finance and hiring a data analyst as well. Now, in this part lies a person who is a financial analyst as well as data analyst. So this person will automatically outshine these two, isn't it? So that is how data dual specialization actually helps you in career growth and job security. Networking and opportunities, of course, because if you are working in two different domains or you understand two different domains, you will be meeting professionals from two different domains, right? That will be twice the networking, twice the knowledge, twice the exposure. So automatically this will help versatility. This is again common sense. You specialize in two fields and you can shift careers anytime you want to, depending on your interest or depending on the market trends and scenario. Well, preparing for MBA. So till now we have discussed about the specializations, why one should choose a particular specialization, how to choose it, what has to be done. In case you have some more queries, any questions, you keep on commenting there and I'll personally look to it. Well, now preparing for MBA. So let us have a look at the MBA entrance exams. The top exams, CAT, XAT, SNAP, CMAT, NMAT, MICAT, and IBSAT. So CAT is common admission test. There were 3.3 lakh test takers, which was kind of something which happens rarely, because before that it was only 2.5 lakhs. Now it's 3.3 lakhs. It's a growth of close to 30%. That 1.3 lakhs is again a growth of 40%. Now, these two, the biggest exams of India, have grown by 30 to 40%. What does that mean? That people now understand that getting a UG degree only would not help much in long-term career growth. So when you have the time to study, let's get the UG and PG sorted and then go for jobs. So that's what people have understood. And also because people now know that how the world is changing and how lot of all sorts of specializations are coming together in MBA. So let's say you did not have a science background and you could not do something which was connected to total software or data, but in MBA you can do that, even if you do not have that scientific background. So it is a kind of, it is a kind of um, choosing something which you could not because you did not know earlier. Now you know it and you can do it. So this is why the test takers have increased exponentially, and I hope they will increase more. CAT is for IIMs, MDI, especially a lot of other top B schools. That is for XLRI, Jamshedpur. Now we have XLRI Delhi as well, XIM Bhubaneswar. This is called Xavier Aptitude Test. SNAP, this is for Symbiosis. So Symbiosis is a group of colleges for different specializations. There are 50,000 test takers for that. CMAT, and CMAT, there are a lot of other colleges, a lot of, I would say, A to B grade colleges. 58,000 students appear for that. NMAT is for Narsi Monji. Narsi Monji is a college in Mumbai, and they have branches in Bangalore as well. There are 80,000 test takers for that. MICAT is Mudra Institute of Communications and Advertising. So they take their own test, MICAT, and MICAT is a very interesting test. We'll talk about it. The 10,000 people who take the write this test. IB is a group of colleges called ICFI. So ICFI Business School, they take their own test, which is that like there are 25,000 people who write this IB SAT. Now let us deep dive into each of these tests one by one. First is common admission test. It's a 120 exams. It is a 120 minutes exam. This is 6 questions divided into 3 sections of BARC, which has 24 questions. DILR has 20 questions. Quant has 22 questions, total 66. There are 18 to 20 TETA questions. So now what is TETA? TETA is type in the answers. There are no options given to you. In CAT, normally there are 4 options. There are 4 options for any kind of question, but in TETA questions, there is no option. It's just a box in which you have to fill in a number. That will be the answer. But there's one thing which you need to understand. So let's say you solve a question and you get the answer is 12.33. You don't know what to write over here because the answer is 12.3 bar, which means 3 is recurring, 12.33333 and so on. Right? So what will you write here? What will you write here? Would you write 12.33 or you will write 12.34? Because if you remember in schools and colleges, something like this, when they're recurring, this is what we did. Like 66.6666, we took it 66.67, isn't it? So these things happen now. What will you write? The thing is, CAT would involve theta only in those questions which do not have recurring digits as the answer. Clear? So that is how smart CAT is. This kind of answers won't ever be possible for a theta question. Clear? Now coming to cutoff requirements by IIMs. So there's a minimum qualifying score between 17 and 90 percentile in CAT exam. When I say between 17 and 90, that means different IIMs, they're autonomous bodies, but they kind of they keep their own percentiles, own cutoffs in each of the section. So it is for all the sections. 3 section shortlist candidates for final admission round. Shortlisting criteria, it's not just this the cutoff, it's also about the academic diversity, the work experience, the gender diversity. So all those things are considered to finally get you in shortlisting. And after that, for the admission, they also take PI, personal interview, writing ability test for all the IIMs, analytical writing test for IIM Ahmedabad specifically. In some colleges, they also take GD, but in IIMs, GD has been scrapped. So all these things also considered to get the final admission. We'll talk about that in some other session, that the final selection, how does it happen. But right now, we are more focused towards understanding what colleges are there, what specializations they are there, and how to prepare for the exam. Well, so this is a graphical representation year-wise that how many people actually wrote the CAT exam. In 2011, there were 2.05 lakh people, then 2.14. So if you look at this, there's slight variation everywhere, right? very slight variation, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus, 2.55. What happened in 23? 3.3 lakh candidates applied for CAT. This is something which was unthinkable, but it happened for the obvious reasons that we are discussing right now. Well, then comes the Xavier aptitude test. Here there are five sections, unlike CAT. In CAT we had three, here we have five sections. The time limit, total time limit is 210 minutes. 105 questions are there. There are five answer choices. In CAT we had only four. Here we have five answer choices. 1 mark is awarded for each correct answer. 0.25 marks are deducted for each incorrect answer. The most interesting part is zero point 0.1 marks are deducted for more than eight consecutive unanswered questions. Okay, so don't do that. If you write that, there's no negative marking general knowledge section. Scores of general knowledge section are not considered for calculating that percentile. The essay will be evaluated at the time of PI, that is person interview shortlisting, not in the percentile. This is the exact that exam pattern. So in part one, there are 76 MCQs, multiple choice questions. Verbal ability and logical reasoning both come together. Unlike CAT, one section is decision making, then we have QA, quants, and DI combined. There's no sectional time limit here. Then comes part two, general knowledge, analytical essay. So writing test is there for 30 minutes, 25 GK questions. You have to complete both in 30 minutes. This is how it is done. This is how what is the pattern of the paper. That is commonly considered to be more difficult than CAT. It considers sectional cutoffs. There's no reservation category wise or female reservation. Direct questions on grammar and vocab are often seen. LR questions are on the lines of critical reasoning. 5 minute session of mock keyboard testing is also there. Then plus 1 mark for correct answer, minus 0.25 for incorrect, that we discussed earlier as well. And minus zero point 0.1 marks for more than eight unattempted questions. No negative mark in GK section. Number one choices are five. Right. Shivam, I'll come to your query. Coming to NMAT exam, Narsi Monche, there are three sections, language skills, quantitative skills, and logical reasoning with 36 questions each. And it is a computer adaptive test. Now, NMAT is conducted by a body called GMAT. It's the same body which conducts GMAT. Okay, GMAT is the same body. So they have computer adaptive tests. What does that mean? That depending on how you perform in any specific question, depending on that, the next question will be coming. So let's say there's an easy question and you marked it right, the next question can be more difficult. That is what adaptive essentially means. There's one more thing that before beginning the exam, candidates can choose the order of the sections. So, like you can, if you want, you can attempt logical reasoning first, then language skills, then quantitative skills, depends on you. So, you can choose it just before the starting of the exam. Plus 3 for correct, no negative marking, and there is no marks deducted for unattempted questions. The scores are given instantly. The moment you finish, the moment you submit your paper, you'll get your score, just like GMAT. And there's a testing window. So not all people sit at the same time to take the test. There is a window of 70 to 100 days, and you can book your slot and give the test at your will and discretion. The three attempts in totality, but for the main branch, that is NMIS Mumbai branch, they'll be considering only the first NMAT score, not the next two. Clear? This is very important. Now, coming to SNAP exam pattern, general English has 15 questions, reasoning has 25 questions, quant, DI, DS combined have 20 questions, total 60 questions to be done in 60 minutes. The three attempts, marking scheme is plus one for right, minus 0.25. For wrong, no sectional limits, and candidates can choose the sequence of solving. So there is no, you can switch between the questions, between the sections. CMAT exam pattern, 20 questions each, divided in five sections of quant and DI combined, logical reasoning, language, general awareness, innovation, entrepreneurship. By the way, we're starting a YouTube series of CMAT sections. So subscribe to the channel and you'll get the notification soon. I'm going to take this class as well, innovation and entrepreneurship. So we'll do the entire series of this. To be done in 180 minutes. There are no individual section time limits in CMAT. And there are five answer choices, just like that, unlike CAT. Marking scheme is +4 and -1. CMAT takes admission to a lot of A minus to B grade colleges, B schools. MICAT. MICAT has got a very interesting pattern. In section 1, we have psychometric test. There are 150 question, time limit is only 30 minutes. Don't be surprised. 150 questions in 30 minutes. That means 12 seconds for one question. How is it possible? So the kind of questions that they ask are essentially situation reaction. A question which you will write yes or no. There's no wrong or right answer to this. It all depends on how your psychology works, right? So this is so they give you very less time because if you have less time to think, you will come up with your real mindset. That is what they try to do. There's basically it's a psychological evaluation. Now, the next one is descriptive test. In descriptive test, you will be getting so they will be showing you a few pictures. 4 to 5 pictures will be there. It can be a boy walking on a beach. It can be a tree, a flower, a dog, a football, or anything. And what you have to do by looking at those 4 to 5 pictures, you have to think a story in which, in that story, what has been shown in those 4 pictures must be there in any sequence, not essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4, whatever thing. So you have to key in the sequence that is a sequence that you're writing a story with and write a coherent story. It's very interesting part, isn't it? But why do they do it, my cat people? Because Mudra Institute of Communication and Advertising is famous for branding and marketing, and they want people who are creative enough and the story writers, because branding is all about story writing. It's a narrative, isn't it? So that is why they test it in the descriptive test. In section 3, we have verbal ability, QA and DA, general awareness, and reasoning, divergent, convergent, that is essentially deductive reasoning, or it can be syllogisms, etc. By the way, you will not get evaluated if psychometric test is not cleared, right? It is conducted twice a year. Well, now, what is the life of someone who has not done an MBA and someone who has done an MBA? The first thing, without MBA, you take up a job and you will learn on the job. So in the job, you do not have any proper structure. This thing comes to you, you finish the task. One more task comes, you finish a task. Don't really get the time to think that what task should be prioritized first, right? So, but with MBA, you get a structured learning, and when there's structure to the learning, there'll be structure to the practicality, there'll be structure to the implementation as well. So, person with an MBA would be having a structured approach in solving things, in doing things, in assigning tasks to himself, organizing tasks, and organizing the time. Without MBA, there are limited opportunities for growth. Of course, because at one point of time, it will be saturated. How far can you go if there are a lot of people who have done an MBA, but you have not? So with MBA, it opens doors to high level positions and executive roles because once the employer understands that this person has got a structure, he knows what organization is, he knows how to put things in order. So he is better suited for the leadership roles like, and not the one who is not structured, who has not done an MBA. Networking opportunities will be confined to the industry specific circles, of course, because see, if you're working in some company, that people know you, that domain knows you, so they will be the opportunities will be very less. It'll be industry specific. But once you do an MBA, all the B schools have got a huge alumni network. So people who studied from that college even 10 years ago, 10 years back, they're also in the same group in which you are. So they keep on sharing things about their life, about their professional life, about the journey. And sometimes they also, want people for their own companies, startups, or organizations that they're working with. So you get a pool of similar kind of people in terms of college, in terms of management, but in diverse roles in different countries, in different economies. So these are the this is the it's rightly said that a B school is nothing but the breeding ground for future managers. But this is what is the I would say the most important advantage of someone who has an MBA from a B school. Slower salary growth, potentially lower earning ceiling. Ceiling means the maximum will get saturated. But here, the salary will be higher. So you'll start with a salary which a non-MBA would get after 5 years. So you're already 3 years ahead. subtracting 2 years from the duration of MBA, and just for generally speaking, and automatically because you know more and you have started early with a higher salary package, you will automatically get a quicker salary progression. So this is the main difference in a person, in a worker with an MBA and without an MBA. The main thing is that with an MBA you get the extensive alumni support. Well, let us look at some notable alumni. The first person, Mr. Raghuram Rajan, the former governor of RBI, he was from IIM Ahmedabad. Ajay Pal Singh Banga, the president of World Bank Group, he's from IIM Ahmedabad. I don't want to tell her name. Let's see how many of you can tell the name. Tell me in the comments who is she. She was a former CEO for PepsiCo. She's from IIM Calcutta. Shri Harsha Machethi, co-founder and CEO Swiggy from IIM Calcutta. Harsha Bhogle, cricket commentator and journalist from IIM Ahmedabad. Chetan Bhagat, author and columnist from IIM Ahmedabad. KV Kamath, former chief New Development Bank from IIM Ahmedabad. K. Radhakrishnan, former chairperson ISRO IIM Bangalore. The thing is, all these people are from top B schools, but not all of them are traditional managers. They have gone to different fields of their choice. How they did it? Because they had access to the extensive alumni network, right? And extensive access to people from different backgrounds. That is why they could do all of this stuff. By the way, which all books of Chetan Bhagat have you read, and which one is your favorite? Tell me in the comments. Now, placements. IIM ABC, the average salary is 35, 36 lakhs per annum. The top three dream colleges. Top 10, the other IIMs, Mumbai, Indore, Lucknow, Kozhikode. FMS, this is king of ROI, isn't it? The fee is so low, just around 2 lakh rupees, and the average placement goes in 30s. XLRI, IIFT, MDI in Gurgaon, SP Chan, General Bajaj, JBIMS, then AAA plus colleges, average salary is 2025, like IIM Shillong, Narsi Munje, SIBM, IIT Bombay, and IIT Delhi. TIST, by the way, for TIST, earlier there was an exam called TISTNET. TIST took its own exam, but now TISTNET has been scrapped, and now it is CUET PG. So we'll be starting a playlist for CUT PG for TIS as well. Stay tuned. XLRI Delhi branch. AA with average salary of 15 to 20. Like I am the CAP common. There are 9 IIMs which take admission through common admission process. IIM CAP, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Kanpur, SCM Symbiosis HRD, IAC Bangalore. The highest salary on offer for domestic placements can be as high as 1.14 crore per annum. On international, 1.5 crore per annum. Shivam, oh wow, you have answered right. Very good, Shivam. Now, in international placement, these are the geographical locations in which people normally place. US, UK, Europe, Africa, Singapore, Bangkok, Manila. And the diversity of roles are investment banking, equity research, product management, consulting, and founders of these are the main roles which people get in international placements. Coming to the first graph that I showed you, confidence versus competence. So let us understand this graph. On the y-axis, we have confidence. On the x-axis, we have competence. Cool. Confidence is how much we think we know. Competence is how much we actually know, right? So, so vertically, it's low to high. Rightwards, horizontally, it's low to high. So if you start from somewhere, competence is low, confidence is low, you get some competence, your confidence rises like anything. So look at this. The competence has grown by only this much, but the confidence has grown by this much. This is known as the mount of stupidity. This happens with all of us. Like, थोड़ा सा जान गए, इतना ज़्यादा confidence. You know what happens? The main thing is that people should push more. They push more in terms of work, in terms of collaboration, in terms of conversations. So when they talk more and they get to see the world more, they realize that their competence has grown very low, but the confidence has dropped down to almost half. And now they realize, oh, is there more to it than I thought? अभी बोल रहे हैं, is there more to it? And the moment they realize it, the moment they realize it, the competence and confidence are almost the decline. Confidence grows at the same rate at which confidence declines, almost the same rate. And now, at this point of time, it's very low confidence, midway competence, and they say, I may never understand this. This is the time when people leave what they are doing, be, be it anything in their life. But in the ambit of CAT preparation, this is the time when you prepare everything, and then in the first mock, you don't score well, and you think, oh, I cannot do it, right? That's the time when you have to push more. If you push more, you'll decline further, but not at the same rate. And this is the point of inflection, the lowest point of confidence, but the middle point of competence. Then you rise, and here you feel that now it's starting to make sense of writing 5 to 6 mocks. And then you rise like this in terms of competence, in terms of confidence. But you should see, even if you're the highest competence, you're still not at the highest confidence. That means even reaching after reaching here, there'll be more to know. You have to keep on pushing more. You'll ask yourself, was it easy? No. Complicated? Yes. That is the time when you'll actually join the B school of your dreams and make everyone proud, including yourself. So, on this note, I would like to end this session. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me in the comment things that I asked for, and also what else can we put on this channel which will help you grow and understand this MBA dynamics better. Thank you. Have a good night.